What about the healing? Now, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm not even going to start an intro because we new up in here. So as we grow, we'll add on to the intro. All right. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to my channel. I am Trinity and let's flow. But also, let me just say, it may resonate. This is for all signs, all 12 signs. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and you're welcome. If you're a cross watcher, you're welcome to come on in. However, keep it cute, keep it respectful, right? So, also want to say as a disclaimer, it may resonate, it may not resonate. Fit it in, wear it, get in. This is a general read. All right. So, this message, this reading, first thing off the bat, it reminds me of a reading I did for Taurus on my other channel, all about the healing. However, it reminds me of it because this particular person is frozen. They are frozen. They're frozen back in time. I did a reading about somebody being frozen, only able, they're frozen in time. They only can think about them and that other person. Well, this is similar. This is similar to the case here. This person is frozen back in time when it was just you and them. However, this particular person is so frozen that for some cases and some reason, this person not only is frozen in time, their thoughts is outdated, old. They can't make new memories, make new things. Things don't make sense. Where we are in 2025, they may be back in 2000. They may be back in 1999, thinking along that way. Things that's happening to them now is just falling to the wayside. They can't understand. They can't connect the dots because they're stuck in time where it was you and them. They're refusing to accept that things are over. They're refusing to accept that you and them are no more. Now, what it is, they know that you're gone. However, a lot of them are feeling like you are on your way back. You're the one that's confused. You're the one that is, need to rethink the situation, need to get yourself together. It's you. You're the holdup. You are the problem. You are the issue. All right. So, but we know that is not the case. So we're dealing with someone that's back in time. This person is so frozen. I'm getting a vision of them literally sitting in ice, refusing to allow the ice to melt. Refusing, in some cases they're bitter, they're cold, their personality is cold, bitter, standoffish. And let's not get it twisted, for someone to do this and be like this, they're mentally unstable to be able to stay because they're not dealing with their current reality. They're not dealing with current issues. They still stuck back in the time where it was you and them, because they refuse to see things for the way they are, to see the truth about the situation between you and them, that it is really over. You have moved on, you have walked away, and you're no longer willing to even be bothered with this person. This person is watching you, which they're watching you, and this is more than watching. This is stalking. They watch everything you do. They stalk you. They're confused about you because, like I said, they can't, in their mind, they're not seeing things as it is right now. They're confused. They're confused. They don't understand, why do you do the things that you do? Why are you making the decisions that you're making? They're very confused when it comes to you because they're frozen in time. This person is broken. They're broken hearted. They're broken. Their spirit is broken. But it don't have nothing to do with you. Since you and them have been apart and you have moved on, this person haven't had any peace. They go from woman to woman, man to man, breaking hearts. Breaking people's hearts because their heart is broken. Because they're broken. Because they can't have what they want to have, which is you. So, to make them feel better, to make them feel connected in some type of way, they get into these superficial relationships and break with the intention of breaking that person's heart, breaking that person's spirit, because they're broken. They're broken because they couldn't break you. They're broken because they could not confuse you. They're broken because they could not get you in a place that they are in. They wanted you to be frozen in time. They wanted you to have the stinking thinking, old outdated thinking, confused and bewildered, can't figure out your life, can't figure things out because you're stuck. Because you can't figure out what happened. What happened to the relationship? What happened? Why things are off? Why you won't come back? Why are you not together? The other aspect is because they don't want to see their faults. They don't want to see the things that they have done in the relationship. They don't want to own up to the truth. They don't want to look at it, because if they look at it, then they will have to face the things that they actually did in the relationship that was justified for you to move on and go on about your business. In order for them to actually see it, they will have to acknowledge their part, and they're not willing to do that. Therefore, they're staying stuck in ice, frozen in time, because they refuse to see the truth. They refuse to acknowledge the truth. And until they acknowledge that truth, they will never understand and connect the dots, because you were half the problem, but they were the whole problem. Because you gave them chance after chance to make it right, to do the right thing, to make the right choices. But they refused. You had no choice but to save your soul and salvation, to save your mind, save your body and your spirit and your soul, and to move on. You had no choice but to do that. Without it, you will be stuck in time. You will be the one in the situation that this person is in. So you moved on. moved on with your life. Now this person is stuck watching you, stalking you, obsessing over you. And it's as if they can't do anything else. It's as if they can't move, they can't think, they can't grow, they can't manifest. They are stuck, literally stuck in ice, can't move, bitter, angry, frustrated, blaming you when we already know that you can't blame another person for your choices and decisions. You collective own up to your part that you played. You have moved on, you have healed, you have released, and you're done with the situation. You're done with this. It's another aspect to this, yeah. Because I said, well, okay, so what is this really about? Okay, so you've moved on. However, God is saying that it is some of you, the reason why this is coming up, because there are some of you that's still tied to this person. You're still tied to this person because you have children with them. You're still tied to this person because maybe you divorced them, and the family, they are a friend of the family. In some type of way, for some of you, you're still tied to this person. You've moved on. You probably married. You probably in another relationship, engaged. You're fully over the relationship, but you have some ties to this person. And God even further said, and I'm only talking to a small percentage, this part right here. You feel bad for this person because you have moved on, you're happy, you're fulfilled, but when you look at this person, because of your intuition, you see that they're stuck. You see the problem, you see the issue. You even have tried to help them, but they don't want your help. They don't want to change. They don't want to own up to their part of it, so they can't change. They can't evolve. Everything is, they want to blame you. Everything is on you, and in that instance where everything is blamed on you and they don't accept any responsibility, things can't change. Things can't change. So this is coming out for a particular group of people. You're still tied to this person because you have children, or you're divorced, friend of the family, some type of way. I don't know. That's just what I got. But this could be any reason why you're tied. You may be working with that person. You and that person may have divorced, but you're running a business together. It's some type of tie that you're still connected to this person. But yet you have moved on, but they have not. In their heart, their mind, their soul, and their spirit, they are stuck back in time where it was you and them, and they are not at all accepting any responsibility for the detrimental aspects of this or the demise of this relationship. They're blaming everything on you. Is your problem, is you the problem, you the one. Everything is on you. So you can't help nobody like that. God is wanting to speak directly to those ones. You cannot. God says for you to make a stand. It's right here. Make a stand. Take a stand. Take your power back. Stop trying to help this person. This person don't want your help. They want you. They want a destiny swap. They want to swap with you, and you be stuck. You be frozen. Your mind is old, outdated, and can't think straight. They want you to trade spaces with them, and then they'll be satisfied. Then everything will be all right. But because you made the right choice, you made the right decision, and in doing that, the cycles, the energy, it transformed, it transmuted, it changed the dynamics. When you walked away, it changed the dynamics of the relationship between you and this person. You're no longer in that space where you are able or willing to be the blame for something that somebody made the choice and decision to do, negatively impacting the relationship between you and them. You're no longer accepting to be the blame or the problem or the issue. You have walked away, released yourself, and moved forward. But again, we're going back to the point, and this is the point. You are still tied to this person in some shape, form, or fashion. And God is saying, for you to sever that tie, move on, take your power, and don't look back. You can't help this person. They don't want to be helped. What they want is for you to change places with them and you be stuck, or for you to come and be stuck with them, because they don't want to change. They don't want to be a better version of them. They don't want to heal. They want things to go back the way they were. They don't want to see you in a relationship. They don't want to see you in a marriage. They don't want to see you have children and have a family and move on and be happy. They don't want to see it. So any time and effort that you focus on this individual, anything that you try to help, anytime you try to help, you try to speak, you try to give them clarity, give them, God says no, it's not going to work, because they don't want to change. And anytime you place any time and effort in a dead situation, you're putting your own soul salvation, your own work, all the work, effort, and everything that you have worked hard to obtain for you and your life. You putting all of that in jeopardy for somebody that don't have no intentions on changing, don't have any intentions on healing, don't have any intentions on looking at the situation and taking acknowledgement and taking full responsibility and accountability for their actions. They're not going to do it. Any help, any words, any clarity, any wisdom that's given, they're going to flip the script. Try to mess up your mind. Try to make it seem like you the problem, you the issue, and try to get you to accept responsibility for something they did, the actions that they took, to change the dynamics so it would turn out to be in their favor. So it would turn out to transform and transmute, for things to go back the way they were. For you to accept something in error that don't even belong to you. It's a game to be played, right? Who holds the power? Right now you hold the power because you've walked away. But they want to change the dynamics of this situation. And how they do that is keep holding on to this tie. This thing. If you got children together, they holding that thing together. We got children. We got to talk. No, you don't. You set boundaries. You take care of the children. You do your part, I do my part. That's different. If you have a good relationship, you guys come together. You and that person respect each other. You respect each other's boundaries. But when they try to do things to manipulate, try to control, try to do things behind, do things that's underhanded and sneaky and trying to hurt you behind the scenes, no. You can't work with nobody like that. You don't have to get in. You don't have to get in that person's face and talk to them and tell them about themselves. No. You ain't got to do all that. What you do is you pull up, go on about your business, set boundaries, and you protect yourself. You do what's required for you to have peace in your home, peace in your mind, your soul, and your spirit. You ain't got to keep talking and arguing with folks, because at the end of the day, do you think that person gonna tell you the truth? No. They gonna say you crazy. You don't know what you talking about. I ain't done that. I ain't said that. I'm not doing that. Don't waste your time. You don't put another individual feelings, what you feel and what you know with your spirit, what you know God is showing you about another individual. You don't go to that individual and try to get get them to tell you, get them to make some type of correction, or get some type of gain some type of understanding based off what God has given you and told you about that person. They not gonna give it to you. They're not gonna tell you the truth. And it's okay if they think you crazy. It's okay if they don't accept and don't like that you have cut them off and moved on. It's not about them. It's about your soul, your salvation, your freedom. It's about your peace. That right there comes way before an individual that you know they didn't tell you, but you know your intuition has told you that that person is not right. They not all the way right. You have to trust your instincts. You have to trust what God is telling you about an individual. You may love them with all of your heart. It may hurt your soul to release that person. But you better release them and hurt your soul and hurt your heart. Because at the end of the day, you would rather hurt your own heart and soul than have that person come in and put that knife in your back. That's the worst hurt, that you love them, you trusted them, and all they doing is keep putting them knives in your back every chance that they get. Which one you gonna do? You want the knife that they gonna put, or do you want to hurt your own heart and cut and release that and gain some peace, gain some boundaries, peace, joy, happiness in your life, being who you are and having the freedom to step in your own place, sit on your own throne, wisdom and clarity, freedom to think free to be who you are, standing up for you, not worried about what nobody else thinks. That's freedom. A lot of people don't have that. They worry. Their whole life is predicated on other people's feelings and thoughts about them. Their whole life, they can't even make a decision for their own self, worried about what people gonna think about them. You don't need that. And you don't need this particular person to place you in that. God said, make a stand. Make a stand. Cut the tie. Make a stand. And go on with your life. As long as you move on, you ain't got to worry about if you got children. You do it respectively. You don't argue and put the children between. You do it respectively. Set boundaries. Set the rules where you can take care of your children and be able to move on and still live your life. Whatever the case may be. I don't know. It's not telling me. I've used that as an example. God said, don't back down. This is your life, and I think you better live it. For some of you, you have someone that you're dealing with. Still, you have to deal with this person because it's something. You got a business, you running a business together, children, family, something. Something that you and them still have. You're not in a relationship. You've moved on. But unbeknownst to you, this person is still stuck back in time. They can't have a real relationship. They can't, because all they think about is you. All they think about is what happened between you and them. They're stuck. You're not. You've given up. Oh, you're not. But God is saying you got to let this person go. You got to set boundaries and set yourself free from this tie. So God can deal with this person. God has to deal with this person because this person don't want to heal. This person don't want to do anything but destroy you, destroy your life. Want to come between you and your relationships. Whatever you got going on, whatever they can fit in to get in, that's what they're going to do to try to ruin what you got going on. And God said this has got to stop. For those of you that are not seeing it, you need to open your eyes, your spiritual eyes, to see what's really going on. Because things are, you can't put your hand on it. You can't put your hand on it. It's this person. You know something is going on, but you can't put your hand on. It's this person. Open your eyes to see. It's not everybody. This is not everybody's reading, but open up your eyes. You're still tied to somebody. Because you still have, and you're not with this person no more. You don't love them like that. You moved on. You in a relationship. You engaged. You married. But you still tied to this person. And you think that it's cordial. You think that this person is, y'all's just friends and y'all got a good relationship, but you don't. This person is frozen back in time where it was just you and them. They're stuck. They're watching you. They're stalking you. They're trying to ruin your relationship wherever they can fit in, ruin you. They're talking about you, gossiping about you, trying to create a false, negative narrative about you, unbeknownst to you. And for those of you that do know about it, you need to do something about it. Yes, you love them, but you have to let them go. They're not for you. They don't like you. They're jealous of who you are. You can't make anybody do right by you. You can't make nobody love you. Wake up. Again, this is not for everybody, but whoever I'm talking to, God is dealing with you with this person. You're going to have to cut them off. Is you or them? God is watching you. God has told you what you need to do, shown you what you need to do. And because the love that you have for this person, and because you think that this person still loves you, even though they're showing you and have shown you over and over and over again that they don't, and you're not doing anything about it because of how you feel about them. But they keep placing you in hard situations. They keep placing you in difficult situations. They keep placing you in situations that you should never even be in. Waiting for your downfall. Waiting for you to be ruined. Waiting for something that happened detrimental to you. All because you left them. All because you don't want to deal with them. All because you went to another relationship. All because you had another child, build another family with somebody else. They're not over you. They're using the situation to hold on so they can ruin you. Wake up. And I'm going to leave it right there. This is for the collective, all signs. hit the comments. Let a sister know. Let me know. Am I on it? Let me know. Did I hit it? Let me know. So I can keep coming, hitting it full force. All right? So I'm sending you love. I'm sending you healing. Trinity is out.